to ARES number 19, the first studio show of the season. We begin in the welterweight division.
Alors sur mon dernier combat, j'ai eu un adversaire qui était pro JJB, parce que se sont dit d'où il sort ce gars-là qui arrive à mettre à mal un champion du Jiu-Jitsu. Il est là, c'est Dambo GAÄTAN, il sort de PQI. Avant le MMA, j'étais dans le Muay Thai, donc j'ai fait entre 72 et 74 fights, et je dois avoir 60 victoires, 62 à peu près.
Je m'appelle Suleiman Kaznejon, j'ai 2-1, donc là j'arrive sur mon 4e combat. Je m'entraîne au MMA Factory à Paris dans le 12e. Mon dernier fight c'était au ARES19. Pour moi c'est un très bon challenge parce que mon adversaire il est très solide et c'est important pour moi de relever ce défi.
Continuer à soutenir, continuer à donner la force.
Merci à tous d'être là pour ce ARES19. On va tout péter.
Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to ARES19. It is an absolute pleasure to have you with us on UFC Fight Pass. I'm Simon Harding and joining me is UFC fighter and ARES specialist now, I think we can say that, Veronica Hardy. Veronica, a very warm welcome to you. It's an interesting fight to start us off tonight, Veronica, in this new ARES studio format as well. It's intimate, we're close to everyone, it's very close quarters, and it is Dambo against CASENEUIL to start us off.
Yes, and we see him walking out, somebody who hasn't, he hasn't fought in a year, but it was a very good fight against Yassine that he had in the Aries show, and I wonder how he must be feeling here in a very different format, and much more intimate, as you said, and how must he be feeling to have something, the pressure of having a closer quarter.
CASENEUIL, the first man out, had a lot of positive things to say about his opponent, Kirikou Dambo, who put together a really explosive fight for his first one out. And Dambo here looking to prove that stoppage at the time, Veronica, wasn't one that was just because he was overwhelmed, overrun, rather that he can compete, that he can adapt to MMA, and that transition isn't always easy.
Yeah, of course, somebody who's used to throwing elbows, you don't think twice about what was going on. He did such a good job on the fight to defend submissions. We saw him get out of rear naked chokes, triangles, arm bars, and he got to a position where he was able to strike. Unfortunately, he didn't choose his weapons correctly, and he started to elbow. And because of the position that his opponent was in, they were elbows to the back of the head. And with that, of course, there is a disqualification. So it's kind of a shame because I felt like he was just getting into the fight, especially he went to touch gloves with his opponent and he shot straight into a takedown. He wasn't really prepared. It wasn't where he got some strikes off where we could see his Muay Thai come into play. It was something that it started and then he was already defending on the back foot, on the ground, a place that is fairly new to him, especially in competition. So to see him overcome all of that, and then because of back of the head elbows, it broke my heart for him.
Yeah, it is true that we tend to forget that Mohamed Bayo came out. Usually you do see fighters touch gloves, and,
yes.
and Dambo went for it, and he was caught straight away. It was almost like a baptism of fire in terms of his entrance into the ARES arena, into the cage, into everything that represents, of course. And I wonder how this time, first of all, if he's going to touch gloves, and how he starts the fight, because he'll be looking, as you said, he was on the back foot for so long, he'll want to start quickly.
Absolutely, showcase how good he really is.
Well, here is the story of the night for these two guys. Suleiman CASENEUIL, hold up, but he is shorter. There is a big reach advantage there, 12 centimeters for GAÄTAN Dambo, which is something he also didn't have against Mohamed Bayo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fighting Championships, this is the season opener. And we begin with 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. First, the blue corner, standing 178 centimeters tall and weighing officially at 77.5 kilograms. As a professional, 2 victories against a single loss. Fighting out of France, introducing Suleiman CASENEUIL. And his opponent in the red corner, standing 182 centimeters tall and weighing officially at 76.4 kilograms. As a professional, 1 defeat, also fighting out of France, introducing GAÉTAN KIRIKOU DAMBO. When the action begins, your referee in charge, Christopher Chapuis.
Warm welcome and an introduction to Buddy Johnson, who will be in the cage tonight. Here it is, the first ARES studio fight. GAÉTAN Dambo, Suleiman CASENEUIL. First thing to say is you can almost hear a pin drop here.
I can literally hear them bouncing before the fight starts. Oh, and he did choose to touch gloves.
There is going to be a touch of gloves, and it's CASENEUIL and then Dambo who come out firing big time.
That was a heavy low kick. He's pressuring his opponent. Dambo is pressuring him, trying to get these elbows. He has to be careful. He has to be in range for these elbows. If not, counters can come. That was a good jab.
Dambo's certainly trying to start on the front foot. Defends the takedown well and reverses it. Has he got a grip around the neck there?
Looks like he's trying to have the guillotine. Oh, and he gets out of it. He has to be careful right now that CASENEUIL doesn't go around from the back. He did a good job at retaining his guard. He does have a first round triangle finish, but he chooses to get back up. And a good jab again from CASENEUIL.
A little 1-2 combination there, but the left hook as Dambo breaks away connects.
I think he tried to protest a head clash. The action continues. A good right hand. He's pressuring him. Another good jab, and now beautiful defense by him. Just has to be careful because CASENEUIL has his hands locked in double unders. This is a good position for him. Oh no, it's a 50-50. He can turn him. Dambo can turn him if he presses towards that underhook, towards his right hand, if he really pushes forward.
It's been a non-stop 90 seconds of action since the start of the fight. You can hear everything in this brand new ARES studio format. CASENEUIL, Dambo, in an embrace that has got nothing loving about it.
And one good thing that we saw from CASENEUIL in his last fight in Ares was those knees. He really pressured his opponents and landed brutal, beautiful knees. Then when he tried to get away, the head kick started to come. But it's a bit different with how tall Dambo is in comparison. Beautiful reversal. He tried to go for a takedown, but wasn't able to get it, and Dambo reversed it. Great showcase of balance.
Dambo's ended up on top here.
Nice shoulder pressure. Maybe trying to slow CASENEUIL down because this has been very action-packed in the first half of the round.
Dambo's almost in a half-task guard position here. Referee is calling for a bit of action. CASENEUIL evades that elbow really nicely because that was coming with a lot of power. CASENEUIL looks for the sweep twice, isn't there, but then the knee comes in.
The balance that Dambo has showcased in this bout has been very impressive. CASENEUIL has come with really good takedown attempts, but Dambo has been able to stay balanced and then reversed it while defending a takedown. And another good elbow by Dambo.
Dambo, not cleanly mounted, but in a sort of mounted position as he tries to just generate a little bit of space to let go of those arms.
And in this new format, we can hear both corners coaching them.
Something that Bernal Lopez said to them as Dambo tries to let fly Casno though, allowed to stand up, and up they come again with a punch. That's a good combination by Dambo as he tries for the uppercut.
Continues. He's really pressuring him, and here comes the takedown, but he does get it this time. Dambo's doing his best to hip in and trying to get back up, and here comes these elbows.
We'll be very careful of that because in a similar position that Dambo was disqualified last time around.
The good thing is that here it's less of a risk of him hitting the back of the head because he's going sideways to where he's trying to get the takedown. He's doing a good job at controlling that Casno's ankle, which makes it difficult for him to really drive forward like he was able to do now once he got rid of that control. And another punishing elbow. It's going to make him think twice about getting into these positions.
Last 10 seconds here. Dambo took an elbow there. Action-packed first round between Casnoy and Dambo.
That was an exhausting round for both of these fighters. They really went out.
Didn't leave anything out there, did they? Breathing heavily, both guys. We should take a look at some of the replays. That's one of the first exchanges of the fight there.
Heavy low kick from him, and then he continued to chase. And this is where we saw Casno start to try and get the takedowns. He couldn't get that when he tried to pull guard and reverse it, but Dambo maintaining balance, connecting at the end of his punches, did beautiful. This is where he pressed him against the fence. And we saw when he was able to be on top, he landed very heavy elbows.
Both guys breathing heavily, being told to step back by the referee. 15 significant strikes for GAÄTAN Dambo in that first round. Over a minute and a half of ground control for him as well. Stats which would indicate that he's the one who takes that first round home. He starts with the kick as well.
And it's interesting because he's not the one trying to get the fight to the ground. He's trying to strike, to follow his opponent, to connect at the end of his punches. Oh, that was a nice uppercut from Casno.
Good head movement there from Dambo to evade. Casno takes another kick. Fires one himself, but caught by Dambo. And down they go again.
He's using his forearm to really pressure Casno.
Once again, there's that pressure with the forearm on Casno's neck, who has to move.
And it's also uncomfortable, right? You have to bear in mind with how difficult that first round was, the strikes, and now to be in this position where it's exhausting. You have an opponent that's on top of you. You've already tried to take them down, and you weren't able to do so. And when you're in this position, he's just waiting to land these elbows.
He's doing a relatively good job at the moment of trying to control Dambo's left arm, but it is still in an awkward position for him.
I think he's just trying to prevent those elbows that we saw in the first round.
There's one there, just glanced off his face.
And that's something that I always find quite interesting, how such a Muay Thai expert transitions to utilizing elbows but on the ground, and how he knows how to really place them.
Oh, he's pinned his left arm there. That's what he's trying to do at least.
Casno has to dig for that left side underhook. You see how he has two hands on one, which is it's a good position to have, but if he wants to get up, he has to have his left hand under Dambo's armpit so he can go in that direction and stand back up.
Another elbow there, which Kirikou Dambo is using to absolute perfection at the moment. He's been told by his corner, as soon as you have an opening, let fly, go for it, 100%. Referee stands him up. CASENEUIL's been on the back foot for the opening 3 minutes of this second round, and he's taken a big right there as well. He looks a little bit shaky, fires the left. Again, Dambo comes forward.
And then he goes again for the takedown.
Which he gets.
Good, because he changed his angle this time. He didn't just shoot, stay on his knees, and then Dambo could pressure down. He changed the angles and re-shot. But he has a really good control here of CASENEUIL's left arm.
CASENEUIL, powerful left strike there. As for the first time, it's Dambo who's on his back.
He's trying to utilize that butterfly hook to elevate him, but he's also holding him, so there's not really much damage coming from CASENEUIL. And if you think about how the round has played so far, he's still in a pretty good spot to win the round if CASENEUIL is not able to get any real significant damage.
Once again, the referee calls for a little bit more from the two men. CASENEUIL, as he gets up, tries to hook Dambo 3 or 4 times. Dambo tried the judo sweep.
He didn't get that in his first fight. Oh, he's trying to go for a new crank. Maybe trying to get that Americana.
Oh, finished. Kirikou Dambo with the submission in the second round to win the fight. It's his first professional MMA win on the back foot for so long in his first fight, and this time non-stop action and aggression to win it, Veronica.
Absolutely, and to get it done via submission, I mean, that's so impressive. I bet that must feel so good for him, because, you know, in the first fight, he defended submissions and he showcased great anti-wrestling. He showcased a great judo throw that we saw, utilizing his opponent's momentum because he knew he wanted to get him on the ground. A much more MMA experienced opponent, and a beautiful performance by both of these fighters.
Yeah, it'll be a big step forward for Kirikou Dambo in his career. He was bitterly disappointed with how it ended against Mohamed Bayo, and this time around well, we can say he learned his lessons. He was on the back foot. He knew that if he didn't want to be on the receiving end, he had to take the initiative, and that's what we saw, non-stop initiative. And considering when you think that there is one of the 4 bonuses put out there by the promotion for the most aggressive fighter, it's a performance that certainly lays down a marker for the rest of the night. Suleiman CASENEUIL, on the other hand, Veronica, never felt like he got going.
Yeah, it was difficult because Dambo was just so... he was just one step ahead of him in the exchanges, in the striking, and it was just so clean and sharp.
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling from the stoppage in about 4 minutes 20 seconds of round number 2. Your winner by submission with an Americana, GAÉTAN Kirikou Dambo.
GAÉTAN Dambo with his first mixed martial arts professional win. Someone who has made the transition from Muay Thai, such a dangerous person in Muay Thai, dangerous fighter. Suleiman CASENEUIL goes to 2-2 on his professional record, but he will feel that he has a lot more to show, of course. It's a fight where he came up against a really tricky opponent who had a point to prove, and who proved it brilliantly.
Beautiful matchup. I'm still in shock by how much we can hear everything. From the cornering, from the bouncing, from the shots. I mean, wow.
take a look at some of the highlights here again. Some of those vicious elbows which created so much space. That's the move that eventually got CASENEUIL caught.
He tried to throw a kick with his back up against the fence and he was able to catch it. That judo throw was beautiful. A headlock throw, and then he attacked the arm right away, moved his hips back so he could really pressure the arm. And there we get the tap.
What's so even more impressive is obviously you wouldn't think that someone who's coming off Muay Thai would, you know, get that sort of a submission win so cleanly done, so expertly executed, and that bodes well for him, for Kirikou Dambo. We see that he has a full array of skills at his disposal.
And his physicality was great in the fight, the way he defended takedowns, his move.